While your parents lose the house, you're unlocking gold camo. It's 2008. The economy teeters on the brink of collapse. Banks implode. Jobs evaporate. Grown men in suits sweat through press conferences. And you yell no scope into a $10 Mad Catz headset from GameStop, while your mother silently cries in the other room. As the global economy descends into chaos, the young gamer remains laser-focused, eyes glued to a state-of-the-art plasma screen television, and the taste of Mountain Dew and inappropriate insults on his taste buds. This is Call of Duty: Modern Welfare. It's 2008. The global economy hangs by a thread. Fathers pace around kitchens with hollow eyes. Mothers scroll through job boards that haven't been updated since 2005. Adults talk about adjustable rate mortgages. But little Timmy, he talks about spawn locations on favela. CNN runs a segment on record foreclosures. He just got a new PB on Rasputin in Just Dance. There is a financial reckoning outside, but inside is just vibes. And screaming, and Linkin Park Naruto AMVs. You see, Timmy does not feel fear or loss or the growing tension of late-stage capitalism. He feels only controller drift. Yes, it's always the controller. And when his dad mentions something called Chapter 13, he assumes it's a new Call of Duty mission. While Wall Street deservedly burns, young lads aged 8 to 15 train in the ancient art of the quickscope. The subprime mortgage crisis? No idea what that is, but they can tell you exactly how many milliseconds it takes to pull off an intervention sniper nuke on high-rise. Their house is underwater, but he is underwater in wet work. He squats repeatedly on an enemy's face because, well, that's what he gets for camping. A cacophony of flashbangs, grenades, and one kid screaming into his distorted microphone because his mom told him to pause the game. A thing you simply cannot do in multiplayer. As homes vanish, retirement accounts shrink, and marriages collapse under debt, he rejoices because he just hit a kill streak. 15 plus years later, he looks back and realizes he made a grave mistake. He should have been born sooner. For the only thing he owns from that era is a racially insensitive username. Now in the bleak present, that boy is a man. The world tells him he should have bought real estate back then. Of course, it's all so obvious now. They are, quite simply, the most oblivious children in the history of late-stage capitalism. And also, the most elite. A strange duality. So while economists scramble to diagnose what went wrong in 2008, they already know the truth. Someone failed to cap the point, and now we all spawn in poverty. To the untrained eye, it may seem as though the grown-up little Timmies are simply coping, but that's where you're wrong. They are clueless, not coping. The housing crash, the stock market plunge, the soul-crushing layoffs. These things weren't hidden behind complex jargon or locked away in ivory towers. No, they were on the front page of every newspaper, blasted on every channel. But to the Timmies, they may as well not exist. The collapse of the global economy might as well be patch notes for a game they don't play. Fortunately, resilience isn't necessary for men of their ilk. The blissful fog of childhood ignorance, fortified by Xbox Live Gold and a complete lack of financial literacy, keep them warm at night. Your dad's worried the house will be repossessed. You're worried the other team is running RPD and you can't find anyone on the radar. It's a perfect storm of misaligned priorities. There is no avoiding the truth. We're not even aware there is a truth to avoid. And even if someone tries to explain what's happening, it doesn't land. It just sounds like background noise during the lobby countdown. The Federal Reserve sounds like a prestige unlock. Oblivion by design. The Call of Duty lobby goes beyond merely a matchmaking screen. It is a generational petri dish, boiling with rage and unsupervised adolescence. A place where young boys across the country come of age, armed with total disregard for wisdom or compassion. Here, etiquette does not exist. Mercy is for the weak, and the phrase "your mom" carries the weight of the stock market crashing. Modern warfare is a shared religion. The sacred texts are kill-death ratios. The hymns, screamed insults and dubstep montages. And somehow, against all odds, it brings us together amidst the chaos of the outside world. Across suburbia, rural towns, cities, apartments, trailers, they all log on. They congregate in digital battlegrounds. They speak in tongues, mostly profanity. And in this profane little sanctuary of hatred and vitriol for our fellow man, they find community. Awful, loud, misspelled community, but community nonetheless. As CEOs sprint out of buildings in a panic with golden parachutes at the ready, they are filled with pure clarity. Kill confirmed. Flag captured. You are now top of the leaderboard, a god among middle schoolers. Still, in the next room, Mom is on the phone arguing with a collections agent. You instead set your eyes on a virtual coliseum where insults fly freely and respect is earned through digital bloodshed. They learn their place in the world by surviving verbal warfare in a pre-match lobby hosted by a 9-year-old. And in some warped, wonderful way, it works. It prepares them for a future where nothing is sacred, everything is chaos, and the only rule is never back out of a 1v1. This is the place where their brains finish developing, rather terribly, as you can probably tell. In the modern era, they are faced with a new type of competitor, one they couldn't have possibly seen coming: financial influencers. With slick hair, ring lights, and the dead eyes of someone who's never eaten a Hot Pocket at 3 a.m, they look into the camera and say things such as, "If you had just bought a duplex in 2009, you'd be retired by now." Ah yes, of course, little Timmy, a 12-year-old with $7 in birthday money and a Pokemon piggy bank, should have leveraged his non-existent credit to acquire income-generating real estate. Silly Timmy, he didn't have a checking account. He had a Wii. Surely playing virtual tennis with your mates is just as fulfilling as being a property owner. These so-called TikTok sages speak with the clarity and confidence of people who think a Roth IRA is a personality trait, showing off index funds like a hunter would their game. They tell you with a straight face that you missed the opportunity of a lifetime, that real wealth was within reach if only you'd stopped playing Call of Duty long enough to close on a duplex. Never mind that you were in middle school, never mind that your only assets were some Legos and an MP5 with FMG. According to them, it didn't matter how many games you won, because ultimately you failed the game of capitalism before you even unlocked puberty. This is nothing more than financial gaslighting, and it escalates rather quickly. Sure, it would have been great to start investing in Amazon in 2011, but most millennials were starting high school or college, if not puberty. Some still terrified of hygiene and using Axe body spray as a proxy for a shower. Surely these folk were not launching an e-commerce empire. Yes, investing in Bitcoin early sounds like a lovely idea, but most of us believe Bitcoin to be nothing more than an iPod Touch game. Being a financial dependent of the bank of mum and dad was the only way we knew how to make passive income. And now these same people look down from their converted van loft Airbnbs and say, "You missed your shot," as if little Timmy wasn't, at the time, just trying to figure out how to talk to girls without crying. We've all been there before, haven't we? You must work harder, they say, but if they saw that glorious kill streak, they'd be singing a different tune. They act like you chose modern warfare over generational wealth, and honestly, you did. And you'd do it again. Well done, gentlemen. Because while they were building equity, you were building memories. While they were optimizing for cash flow, you were optimizing your parks. So no, You may not have bought real estate in 2009, but you bought time. Time to be completely, wonderfully, irresponsibly unaware. And in many ways, that investment aged better than the housing market ever could. The boy, once feral and full of Mountain Dew, has matured into what scientists now call a millennial in crisis. He is older, quieter, slightly hunched from years of poor gaming posture, and now he looks back on that era with nostalgia and just a hint of bitterness at the unforgiving, indiscriminate randomness of the universe for making him too young to capitalize on such a historic event. Or perhaps he capitalized on it perfectly, in a way. Sure, Timothy is still struggling in his 30s. A grocery run of milk, bread and tang will send him into financial ruin for weeks. He has no air conditioning, and Little Caesars is considered a night out. But he is not without assets. He invested in friendship, in brotherhood, in bonding over fictional violence, which, in fairness, does pay off, spiritually. His portfolio, 3 unopened Doritos bags and a Mountain Dew code. But the confusion within him deepens. He faces rising rent, crippling debt, and real estate prices that look like phone numbers. And now the Modern Warfare saga continued throughout the years. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and then came Modern Warfare again. Then Modern Warfare 2 again. And would you believe it, Modern Warfare 3. Even his beloved Call of Duty has gotten more confusing. And on top of it all, they release what essentially amounts to the same repackaged game every single year. Unaffordable and unrealistic. He is told repeatedly that he missed his chance, that the window is closed, that if he just had the foresight to buy a house during the recession, he'd be living off mythological passive income in Bali. And so he squints into the foggy abyss of memory, trying to remember what he was doing during the largest financial collapse in recent history. And then it comes to him. He was 1 kill away from a tactical nuke. His heartbeat was racing. His screen was shaking. And when he finally called it in, that 25th kill raining nuclear fire across the digital map, he felt, for just one perfect moment, invincible. Now, years later, he wonders, was that his peak? Perhaps, but it was also pure. A time when victory was absolute, regret was non-existent, and the only collapse that mattered was the enemy team rage quitting before the final kill cam. So no, he did not build wealth, he did not buy land, he did not outsmart the system, but he did take on Nuketown at 3 a.m. And in this economy, that's worth something. The question now lingers in the air, like smoke from a well-timed stun grenade. Did these Timmies actually learn anything? Not about interest rates, not about equity or compound returns, but maybe, my dear viewer, something was gained in those digital trenches. Because Call of Duty, beneath its chaos and profanity, is more than a game. It is a curriculum. They learn competition, brutal, merciless, often decided in milliseconds. They learn systems, the intricate mechanics of map control, spawn logic, and perk synergy. They master online hierarchy, where respect is earned by your ability to clutch a 1v3 with nothing but a throwing knife and spite. There is no resume here, no tax bracket, just skill and an iron will to teabag a stranger you will never meet. Discipline? Absolutely. Lads play for hours and hours, sometimes until the sun rises and Dad wakes up to start applying for jobs en masse. Muscle memory is refined. Reaction time is perfected. Rage quitting only when truly necessary. Emotional intelligence? Well, sort of. They do learn rage management. Not how to avoid it, heavens no, but how to channel it into something productive. How to funnel blind fury into laser focus until the game ends or the router dies. But above all, they learn something even more subtle, stranger, and maybe more important. They learn how to disassociate in style. You see, while the world burns outside our window, they slip into the headset, into the lobby, into a realm where none of it matters. where the only inflation to worry about is your ego after a particularly good round. Is it avoidance? Absolutely. Is it maladaptive? Your therapist would certainly think so. But in a collapsing world, millennials and Gen Zers found control. And maybe, just maybe, they all came out of it not wiser, but sharper, funnier, more fluent in the strange language of internet-era resilience and sarcasm. Property was not built, oh no, but personalities were, crafted in lobbies, forged in lag, tempered by trash talk. It is hard, indeed, not to feel like it's harder than it ever has been in modern history to construct a life for oneself. These are trying times for many in the West. I know you likely feel you missed the housing market. But if you take anything away from this deep dive, my friend, let it be this. It is not millennials who missed the housing market, it is the housing market that missed the millennials. If only it had an aimbot.